Non-declaration of assets case against Justice Walter Noge, Code of Conduct Tribunal fixes 18th of April for judgment. Acting Inspector General of Police visits Lagos on police killings. Federal government debunks fuel scarcity speculation, assures on all year-round supply. These are more on Panorama coming to you from the Lagos Network Center. I am Michael Olale. We'll be right back. The Code of Conduct Tribunal has fixed Thursday, the 18th of April for judgment on the Assets Declaration case of Justice Walter Noge. This follows the hearing of the final submission of the prosecution and defense. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo has details.
The content of the final addresses of both the prosecution and defense are still reflective of the positions they have held since day one of this trial. After exactly 4 months of trial, the case of Justice Walter Noge now has a terminal date, at least at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, where the Constitution provides that all asset declaration matters must commence from. Both prosecution and defense, while adopting their final addresses, restated their positions. The prosecution, led by Aliu Umar, SAN, asked the tribunal to convict Justice Walter Noge and hold that the accusation of non- and false asset declaration had succeeded and been proved against him. But the defense, led by Okon Nkanu, said that the prosecution had a defective charge, stressing that the charges contradict themselves in that non-asset declaration and false asset declaration were not charges known to the law. The defense said as a result, none of the charges could be proved beyond reasonable doubt, which was the standard of proof required by the law.
All of us agreed that it is the hard evidence that was presented before the tribunal by both the prosecution and the defense that it is based on that a decision will be made.
The essential ingredients is the falsity of declaration and the failure to declare. And we contend that both were missing.
The Code of Conduct Tribunal now has the responsibility of determining where the pendulum swings in the matter of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Noge. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered an interim forfeiture of the property traced to former Minister of Petroleum Resources Dezani Alison Madueke, Dona Chidi Amagbo and Shekoi Property Limited. Justice Chuka Obiozo gave the order while ruling on an ex parte motion at the instance of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The property is located at Plot 9 Azikwe Road, GRA Port Harcourt in Rivers State. The matter has been adjourned till May 9, 2019. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has cross-examined another prosecution witness before Justice Mojisola Olatoregun in the ongoing fraud trial of immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose. Abolore Ogbara has the details.
The prosecution counsel, Rotimi Jacobs, told the court that he has 4 witnesses to testify against the immediate past governor, Ayodele Fayose, but one of them was cross-examined before Justice Mojisola Olatoregun. The prosecution witness, Sunday Olusheye Alade, a Zenith Bank branch head, Akure, said on the 17th of June 2014, he received a telephone call from one Mr. Akonde through Abiodun Osonde, his colleague from Ibadan branch, that a customer will be coming to deposit a huge sum of money. The witness, Sunday Alade, told the court that one Mr. Abiodun Agbede was introduced as the customer. The branch manager said Abiodun Agbede led the team and the money counted was 724 million naira. The cash was authorized to be saved in Privital Nigeria Limited, Spotless Investment and Ayodele Fayose's accounts. After his confession, the prosecution counsel, Rotimi Jacobs, requested for adjournment to get the other 3 witnesses. Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, however, adjourned the case to 10th of May this year in Lagos. Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
The long arm of the law has caught up with a social media blogger, Ibrahim Wala. Ibrahim was convicted by Justice Haliru Yusuf of the FCT High Court in Maitama, Abuja, for defaming the character of the government official by publishing false information against him. Olabode Arewa reports that the accused also operates an unlawful organization.
The convict Ibrahim Wala used the Facebook platform to accuse the chairman of the National Hajj Commission, Mukhtar Abdullahi, of siphoning funds meant for the 2017 Hajj operations. Justice Alilu held that Ibrahim failed to substantiate these allegations despite claims that he possessed documentary evidence. The court took judicial notice of the damage caused to the complainant's name, who in his testimony told the court that he ran the 2017 National Hajj operations in a transparent manner. The judge held that whistleblowing should only be done with facts, that the convict's conduct did not depict remorse, and he abused his right to use the social media. He was thereby sentenced to 7 years imprisonment without option of fine. The convict would serve his sentence in Suleja prisons. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has read the riot act to area commandants, divisional police officers, DPOs, and other sectional heads, who is said will be henceforth be held responsible for any act of misconduct of officers and men under them. He said these while addressing the officers in Lagos. Jesuta Moses reports.
4 residents of Lagos State have been killed by trigger-happy policemen within the past 4 weeks. The visit, according to the acting IGP, became expedient in view of such unprofessional conduct among the personnel of the force in the state, stressing that extrajudicial killing is unconstitutional. The police boss added that such conduct negates the shooting range practices and certification and professional ethic module as integrated in the basic training and personnel development courses of police personnel across all ranks.
The line supervisor of such officers, including area commanders, divisional police officers, or sectional heads, shall be held vicariously liable for lacking supervision and shall be similarly sanctioned. This is the first policy, and no one should be in doubt as to our strong will to enforce it. It is within this context that all personnel that were involved in the recent incidents were arrested and are being made to answer for their misconduct.
Acting IGP Mohammed Adamu pointed out that personnel reorganization may be carried out in the Lagos Police Command in the coming days. Promised to introduce less lethal technologies and weapons as part of measures to control extrajudicial killing.
In the long term, rather than the use of firearms, we shall henceforth use technologies and weapon systems such as electromuscular disruption technology, which is commonly known as teaser or stun guns, by the police for routine patrol, arrest duties, and other low-risk operations as a strategy towards reducing incidents of fatality associated with misappropriation or misapplication of lethal weapons by the police as a first line of response to any threat.
On the 18th of March, Hadijat Sikiru was shot dead at Adamo, a community in Ikorodu, followed by Kolade Johnson at Ikeja, and the most current, Ada Ifeanyi at Ajegunle. In Lagos, Jesuta Moses, NTA News.
Security operatives in Zamfara State have resolved to relocate to remote areas where armed bandits operate as part of efforts to end the incessant killings and kidnapping in the state. The state governor, Abdulaziz Yari, disclosed this while briefing journalists shortly after meeting with key players on the issue. Haliru Muhammad reports.
The recurrent killings and kidnappings by armed bandits in Zamfara State prompted the state governor, Abdulaziz Yari, to summon a meeting with various stakeholders, including traditional rulers, local government council chairmen, heads of security agencies, and other top government functionaries for a way forward. The meeting, which discussed and analyzed the security apparatus in the state, came up with far-reaching resolutions.
Definitely, we have seen what happened and we are taking measure. Just recently, GOC after 100 displaced. We are working throughout the state. So we are putting all on ground. But we are doing it for the betterment of some people in Nigeria, not under any pressure.
The governor expressed his administration's commitment to collaborating with neighboring states towards tackling the security challenges. He used the medium to commend the federal government over the recent banning of mining activities in the state, describing the decision as timely. Security operatives in the state say they are more than ever determined to end the reign of bandits that have been terrorizing the state.
The issues concerned have been taken care of. We are going to face the basic one. And we promise Nigerians that from today, they will hear videos. Operations will be carried out.
Currently, troops fighting bandits are said to have relocated to remote areas where the culprits operate to face them head-on. In Gusau, Halir Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
You're still on to Panorama, coming to you from the Lagos Network Center. More reports after the break. Stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Glad to know you are still there. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has commenced his engagements in Washington, D.C. on a positive note. Anthony Folson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed began his engagements with a visit to the Atlantic Council.
The Atlantic Council is one of the foremost think tank institutions in the United States of America. Its role is to help shaping global policies and design how America relates with other nations around the world. The visit of the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed to this institution is not the first.
After a closed-door session between the Vice President of the Council, both men came out of the meeting with some high hopes and confidence.
We discussed several issues ranging from how much Nigeria has been able to contain the threat of Boko Haram, and how much the president has succeeded in managing an economy from recession to growth, and the fact also that the president's commitment to fighting corruption, is not negotiable. We are also able to discuss the correlation between corruption and underdevelopment. But more importantly is that we were able to, we both agreed fighting terrorism, we need, support of international organizations and countries like the US.
However, the February 23rd general elections wouldn't have been left out of the discussion.
Yes, he agreed with us that the last election was practically a referendum on the integrity of Mr. President. He agreed with us.
With a full briefing by the minister to the council about the state of affairs back home in Nigeria and the situation of things, the council is now ready to tour the path of the present administration. From the Atlantic Council in Washington, D.C., Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Nigeria has begun a robust engagement with its immediate neighbors, Niger and Benin Republic, to tackle cross-border smuggling threatening its national sovereignty once and for all. Minister of Foreign Affairs hosted a joint interministerial meeting in Abuja ahead of the tripartite meeting on anti-smuggling. Foreign Desk correspondent Makum Salmon Macham reports.
Worried by the persistent activities of smugglers using Nigeria's porous borders to undermine its economic prosperity and threaten its peace, President Muhammadu Buhari engaged his colleagues in Niger and Benin Republics to come up with a common front to deal with the issue. This interministerial meeting of key government ministries and agencies hosted by Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama is preparatory to the tripartite anti-smuggling committee meeting of the three countries scheduled to hold soon. Representatives from the Ministries of Agriculture, Finance, Interior, Justice, the Nigeria Customs and Immigration Services met for several hours on Monday to identify the challenges and adopt a strategy that will put an end to cross-border smuggling, which is threatening the nation's sovereignty.
So this was a preparatory meeting amongst ourselves to go through again all the issues and to come up with a common position and present that to Mr. President, and so that we can have a basis for engaging with our country, with those other countries.
We're talking about weapons coming in, about smuggling coming in as well. And we just want to take steps to make sure that we increase security here and make Nigerians happier.
When the three countries meet, Nigeria will be putting on the table some of the tough decisions arrived at in this meeting to protect its citizens and their well-being. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, has assured Nigerians of sufficient fuel supply in the country. The minister gave this assurance while reacting to insinuation on pending fuel scarcity. Annie Daniels has details.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachuku, has come out to discourage Nigerians from engaging in panic buying of fuel, disclosing that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, had assured him on inquiries that they imported enough of the product.
The information I have is that there's enough product on ground, and we should be able to deal with whatever it is before it becomes, because the problem with fuel is that once you let it hang for 3 days, then it builds up a life of its own, and that's what I've urged the NPC yesterday to make sure that they avoid that. I don't get a sense that there's a lot of urgent, there's a major issue on ground. I mean, if it was an issue of insufficiency of product, then we have a problem.
The minister attributed few pockets of scarcity experienced to Petroleum Equalization Fund related distribution issues, which has already been sorted out.
It's not an issue of lack of sufficiency. I'm told they have about 28 days sufficiency. A week or 2 weeks ago, they had about 14, 15 days, and Johnson here raised those issues, and we queried them on that, and they came back to say vessels have arrived, they have about 28 days of sufficiency. That should be okay on the basis of 15 million liters, utilization per day. So that should be okay.
When NTA News visited some filling stations in the Lagos metropolis, no queue was found, and motorists were seen buying the products with ease. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Over 600 refugees and internally displaced persons have benefited from the provision of relief items to aid the resettlement process. The humanitarian gesture, coordinated by National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, also covered National of Congo, Sudan and Cameroon. The report. Sylvie Claudia is a Cameroonian who was forcefully displaced by the genocide in some parts of southern Cameroon. She trekked for 4 days to arrive in Nigeria with a 1-year-old baby.
We have been living in the park. I don't have this before. I eat one food, either sogari or, in fact, we drink water.
The prospect of sleeping on a mattress is more appealing to Tenda, who has been seeking refuge on streets and under bridges.
Almost 1 year, 6 months. We have been sleeping on cartons. But I'm happy today because I know that we will sleep on the mattress. I'm a mother of 4 and my husband.
There is a house here for refugees, but that house is too small to accommodate them. I will be pleading that if the United Nations office here, in collaboration with its agency in Nigeria, can give us an accommodation, just one accommodation.
This gesture, which covered over 500 refugees and internally displaced persons, including migrants, is to enable them live normal life again.
The Honorable Federal Commissioner Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk is very passionate about finding durable solutions to our persons of concerns issue. And one of them is through these interventions, which have been quite regular and frequent since her assumption into office.
We are thinking of providing rent for them so that at least they are properly taken care of instead of them sleeping under the bridge.
With over 1 million internally displaced persons and refugees around the country, the Commission says it is expanding the scope of its operations to improve their standard of living. In the continued efforts to effectively clamp down on illegal orphanages in the territory, the FCT's Social Development Secretariat has sealed off a famous kid orphanage in Tugan Menji community and evacuated 19 children over alleged negligence. Shaibu Yakubu has more.
The 19 children evacuated from the famous Kids Orphanage in Tungamaji are between the ages of 4 and 17. Acting Secretary, Social Development Secretariat, Sefia Omar, says the action followed an information from the Nigerian Police Force that the proprietor of the orphanage in Kechi Udo had abandoned the home. She added that most of the children are brought to Abuja from Cross River and Akwa Ibom State and were left since February this year under the care of a 23-year-old boy who claimed to be an undergraduate of the University of Abuja.
You can see somebody setting up an orphanage, selling children. And when the authority, police are after her, she produced one, and the remaining is nowhere to be seen, and she took to her here. Only for the police to now write SDS to come and evacuate the children. Meaning there are a lot of things happening in orphanages.
A single mother who voluntarily deposited 2 of her children with the home is demanding for one of the children.
My 2 children is here. Last year they reformed one. This year again, I am disturbing them to give me my child. They don't want to give me. They want to help me in my work. That is learning my tailor. That when I finish, I'll come and pick them. They will bring them for me.
The SDS says with this development, the agency will renew its vigor in clamping down on illegal orphanages in the territory. Shuaibu Onuzeyakubu, NTA News.
Team Nigeria emerges champions of the West and Central African Ladies Golf Challenge Trophy in Lagos as Peter Fanos and Deborah Pam emerges winners of the 11th edition of Ibadan City Marathon Race. Olumide Guntola tells us more on sport updates.
Team Nigeria emerged champion of the West and Central African Ladies Golf Challenge Trophy, which ended on Sunday at the Keja Golf Course, Lagos. After 3 days of intense golf action, Nigeria got a total team score of 493 over 54 holes, followed by Ghana with 532, and Cameroon finished third with 571.
The Nigerian team is just too good in the West and Central Africa. It doesn't golf, the figures tell. You know, the figures told from day one. We were leading with quite a margin, so you can't say it's a fluke. We're just the best in West and Central.
Namibia will host the All-African Challenge Trophy in 2020. From Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola reports that Peter Stephanos won the 11th edition of Ibadan 42 kilometers marathon in 2 hours, 44 minutes and 36 seconds in the male category, while Deborah Pam defended the female title successfully in a time of 2 hours, 58 minutes and 13 seconds.
Just persistence, perseverance, endurance, and patience. That's my secret.
I'm feeling good, excited.
that I still remain the champion of the marathon.
The Zone 3 African Volleyball Club Championship served off on Monday at the Indoor Sports Hall of the University of Lagos with 8 matches in the male and female categories. One of the Nigeria's representatives, Police Volleyball Club, defeated Entete Volleyball Club of Benin 3-0 in one of the matches decided.
My opponent, they are a good team. They are coming up, but I know that we will prepare more than the way they prepare.
After this championship, we have applied to CAV, that is the African Volleyball Confederation, to include them in the next year's club championship, African Club Championship, which is going to be hosted by Kenya.
Hostilities continue on Tuesday with 8 matches in the male and female categories. With sports updates, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
That's Panorama from the Lagos Network Center. Stay with us for more news updates. I am Michael Olale.